We're back. Episode 7 with Mr. Senor Perfecto, Bill Algeo, myself, Samio. We're happy to have you.
Thanks,
and
man.
It was my idea this time.
It was Joe's idea.
Get all the Delco natives together, huh?
You're Delco born and raised?
Yeah. Well, actually born in Indiana, Pennsylvania for all of I was there for a couple months and then moved down to Delco, to Chichester.
Upper Chai.
Yes, sir. Yeah. We like to distinguish it is Upper Chichester, or I just call it Boothwind is where I'm from.
So is that all still the same school district?
Yeah, Chichester School District. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you wrestle in high school?
I did. Yeah, that's how I started. Wrestled for O'Hara, Cardinal O'Hara. It was either go to Cardinal O'Hara or go to Sally's, and that's an all-boys school down in Delaware.
And O'Hara, if I'm wrong, it's what, Broomall?
No, Springfield. Yeah. You don't know where O'Hara is? You went to Pencrest?
It's right next to Sproul, right? Lanes?
Yeah, Sproul Lanes. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was Broomall. I guess
Close
that's
enough.
Springfield.
Broomall's
More
like-
Springfield then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Nice. So, give us your background. We're obviously going to get to your huge announcement as of, I believe it was 2 days ago.
Yeah, a couple days ago.
Yeah, a couple of days ago. Obviously, you're retiring, but I want to know the Bill Algeo. How did he get into mixed martial arts and your journey to getting into the UFC?
All right. Well, actually, Sam has a pretty pivotal part of my beginning, but I'll start from, we were talking about O'Hara wrestling. My brother got me into wrestling because I was in 7th, 8th grade. He's 2 years older than me. He came home one day and he lifted his shirt up and he had abs. I was like, where'd you get those? And he's been wrestling. And we always used to fight, and it used to be somewhat competitive, but after he wrestled, yeah, he just whooped my ass pretty bad for a couple of years there. So I was like, all right, well, I gotta learn some stuff, right? So when I was at O'Hara, I tried out for the wrestling team and didn't win one match my entire year because the guys coaching it, they were nice guys, but they were 19 years old. So they just graduated the year before. And, you can imagine any 19-year-old with responsibility and showing up on time and running practices. They weren't always there. So basically they just made it hard-ass conditioning workouts. And so I got tough. I got good at not getting pinned, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I craved knowledge, if you will. I craved technique. I craved not sucking anymore. I want to learn what the good guys know. So really that was kind of my my real start of all right, I want to get good at something.
And what grade was this that you started wrestling?
Ninth grade.
Ninth grade in high school.
We didn't have it. It wasn't available around us in Delaware County. Everyone just made fun of you if you wrestled. I mean, they still do, I guess, in Delaware County. But no, it just wasn't available. And then when he did it, came home with abs, and I'm like, oh shit, I want to do that. And then yeah, just fell in love with it once I started getting in there and doing the practices, doing the hard work, losing, but then ultimately winning, and that just felt amazing.
Did you wind up, obviously, as you continued, you did all 4 years?
Yeah.
Did you wind up going, what's the highest that you wind up going? Did you go
I
districts, regions?
All state, but we were Catholic League, so it's not all state like it is today. I think everything's combined today. Yeah. But I still get to stay all state because I placed 7th or 8th at states or whatever it was, or Catholic League states.
Nationals, we called it, yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you needed to be top 6 or above to go to nationals, right? So I was I just missed the cutoff to go to nationals.
You're right.
But no, we made it pretty close. We definitely got better as we got older and as we got more developed. But that's going to happen.
Hey, local wrestling guy out of Delco. I did wrestle for 2 years.
That's all you did at Pencrest, too?
Yeah, only 2 years. I wish I had more time, but got to go to states. Didn't place. I went 3-2.
Okay.
I lost to first place guy 6-0, and then I lost to the third place guy. I think it was 12-8. We just kept throwing each other.
Isn't it funny how we still remember that though? That's that's what this game's about, man. It's just building up highlights. Hey, B. Joe Pfeiffer. Hey, but we still remember damn that match in high school or this and that. That's
I just
what this
wish I
game's
had
about.
more time, but it definitely is something that's super memorable because of everything that was happening at the time. Joining wrestling was the pivotal, I think, edge that I needed. Jiu-jitsu didn't give it to me, or boxing. Wrestling really put that tough grit pace, break somebody
you got a lot
mentally.
of guys your size, your age, all competing with each other versus jiu-jitsu. It's hey, his gym might have one kid for you and he's not that good. You know what I mean? It just wasn't there back when we were younger. It is now. There's so many jiu-jitsu gyms and so many tournaments every weekend that you can really develop and own those same skills in jiu-jitsu. But
so obviously you have a gym.
Yeah.
what is your favorite student to work with? The one with the jiu-jitsu background, the one with the wrestling background, or the one with the boxing background? Which would you prefer if you're trying to mold someone to be, obviously, where we are in the UFC?
In the UFC? Oh, for sure, wrestling all day. Yeah. No, I mean, we are in Pennsylvania. We're the best state in the world as far as wrestling. So why would we not tap into that? Oh, because we're doing jiu-jitsu? It's all the same thing. It's all grappling at the end of the day. And, you know, we talk about my guy Joey. He's state champion wrestler in PA, big athlete, big kid.
Joey Milano, right?
Yeah, Joey Milano. So you teach him 3 things, and he can go beat out like 90% of the black belts in the world. So it's like...
Yeah, and I'll say I was kind of, I guess you could say negative, or just, I don't know if the word's negative, but I remember watching him a couple months ago, and I was like, man, I hope his hands develop a lot faster. And then I saw him help Andre, obviously, before he goes out. And I was super impressed. Like, that kid's definitely got a bright future, and he looks like he learned, like, a lot in a little bit of time. So I was very happy to see that, and he's a nice kid.
Yeah, no, nice kid. He's got everything you want. He's cocky, but he's, like, not too cocky. You know what I mean? Like,
outside of the interviews, he's not cocky at all.
No,
Not
super
cocky at
nice,
all.
super humble. Well, listen to you. You gave him some really good advice, too, when he was working with Andre the other day. Andre's fighting tonight, right? Yeah. Against Jiu-Jitsu world champion, Adolfo
Yeah, against
Vieira.
Rodolfo Vieira, multiple-time jiu-jitsu world champion. How do you think that fight goes?
It's a tough fight. I mean, I think hopefully the grappling's going to kind of cancel each other out, where they're not going to really try to grapple too much, and it just comes down to striking. And Andre's striking's been looking really good. I don't think Rodolfo's striking is, but we'll see. I mean, Rodolfo's a world champion for a reason. He's tough. He's gritty. He's got to go get him. So I hope that happens for Andre. I'm pulling for him.
Yeah, I'm pulling for him, too. What about the main event, my division, Gregory Rodriguez and Cat Neer?
Gregor,
I'm
RoboCop,
torn between this
right?
one because I think RoboCop is better, but I don't know if his chin through 5 rounds with a veteran of Cannonier is going to be. He fought, I mean, the only other person that he fought that hurt him was obviously he got knocked out by Bruno Ferrer, Rodriguez did, and then he got beat by Jordan Williams on Contender, who's no longer in the UFC. But he did get hurt by Chini and Jaquani that hit him with that elbow, that real
Sliced
nasty
him.
cut.
No, that was a knee, right? Yeah,
Or it may have been a knee.
Because
But,
I
I mean,
fought that night.
That guy comes back.
That night he stole my bonus.
We both fought.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I
yeah.
still.
Yeah, I was like,
Whoa,
man, I was
whoa.
like, come on. If that's the one where I broke my arm, I think, with Feely. Was that night?
No. You won. You didn't break your arm, though.
Oh, okay.
Because
Maybe I'm thinking of a
that
different
would have
night.
been my debut against Amadovsky.
Yeah,
and then
the Arubian guy or whatever he was.
Yeah, he was like
yeah.
Rome or something like that,
Something, yeah.
Romania.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot that we fought.
Yeah. A couple times, or at least once. But I think we're supposed to do twice. I forget. Turns out we get hit in the head a lot, guys. You start forgetting some shit.
So, post high school wrestling career,
Yes.
what was your introduction into MMA?
Signed up for Delco BJJ, man.
Yeah,
My
man.
man Samuel. Guy.
I remember
Really?
when Billy walked into the gym, yeah.
Now, where was that? I never heard of that.
You know, if you're from Aston area, Tom Jones Diner.
Yes.
You know, it was like right next to that, like the next block over.
Right in Brookhaven.
Yeah, on the same road. What was that
352.
352?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was right there. I saw a sign, little. You know, it was before really iPhones and internet. It was just a sign on the grass that had like 2 guys rolling with it. It was like, "Want to try jiu-jitsu?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll try it." Because I knew I wasn't going to wrestle in college. Wasn't good enough, but I missed that competition of like making weight, doing tournaments. I just wanted to compete and still like keep getting better. I put all that work behind those last 4 years in high school, getting better at something, to now just stopped. Seemed like, just weird to me. Like I wanted to keep going and do something, so I just fell in love with jiu-jitsu. John Wilson was a brown belt at the time.
Yeah.
And
when I started, he was a purple belt, and I think
purple
when you
belt.
showed up, he just got his brown belt. Yeah.
So, before we go on with it, what's the relationship of how you helped him get in there? You signed him up?
What, you're talking about
Bill?
into the UFC?
No, into the Brookhaven gym.
No, Billy just showed up one day.
And you were training there.
Yeah, and then we knew a lot of I went to Bonner, he went to O'Hara,
Yeah,
and
lot of
we
same
had
people.
a lot of common friends.
Another buddy, Dan Boyle, I was best friends, or not best friend. My brother was best friends with his brother too, so I already knew Boyle a little bit.
So was this pre you coming to Fight Factory?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was I was probably still a white belt when you showed
Probably.
up.
Maybe
If
just
I'm,
kind of
if I'm
blue or something
wrong,
like that.
you came to Fight Factory a few times.
A couple
too,
times,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
I was kind of a nomad after I left John Wilson's because I was trying to train with these guys a bunch, but like it just didn't work out scheduling wise. And
And you were at Penn State, too.
the last 2 years. I
Okay.
did 2 years. Penn State. It was Penn State Delco my first year, and then it was Penn State Brandywine the second year, and now it's Penn State Brandywine. And then I did the last 2 years up at main campus. But yeah, no, I was trying to work out with these guys, and just it wasn't working out time wise. So they had me going with a couple people that were. I don't know, looked like they belong in the Special Olympics. And, it was
They weren't up to par?
Yeah, they weren't up to par. I'm like, man, I'm trying to do this for real. Like, I'm not trying to
Now, would you knock them out on purpose?
I wasn't even like sparring or anything like that. It was just jiu-jitsu. It was just grappling, and was like, all right, this is not what I thought I signed up for. And then I was working where the new Wegmans is on like 202 Route 1 right there. I know we're getting like hyper Delco for this podcast, but I used to work there. It was called Applied Card Bank, and then across the street was Premier Martial Arts. So that's where Timmy Carpenter was teaching jiu-jitsu. Same thing. I saw a sign. I came in there, and I had a target on my back because I was there. I was at John Wilson School for all of 3 weeks, and then they brought in the Migleris brothers. They did a seminar, and he even said, like, hey, just say you've been doing this for like 6 months. So I got my blue belt that day. I was like, oh, cool, I'm going to be a black belt in like 3 years. And then I looked it up. I was like, oh, no, it takes like at least 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years to get your black belt. I was like, oh, okay. And then when I went to Timmy school, I got my ass whooped. I was like Steve Plyler, really good.
Yeah, Steve Plyler, man, he used to whoop my ass. He was good.
They had old guy Judo Joe, who's still at Steve Plyler school. He used to whoop my ass, teach me some good judo. Kevin, who's really good. Rob McNamara, a couple, and of course Timmy. So I went there. I got my ass whooped. I was like, all right, this is what I've been craving. And then from there, that was kind of like my in to go to Bounce on Sundays. And then I'm like, oh shit, Sammy's here. Like, so then we just kind of kept going to Bounce on Sundays and getting it in with all like the best guys.
So Sundays right around. When did we meet? Would that have been
Probably
at
at Balance, yeah.
on those Sundays?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Back.
I remember he kicked me in the face. No, I don't remember.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so then obviously you were training. I remember seeing you there on Sundays.
Yep.
And I was still just a teenager,
Yeah.
a young teenager.
But it didn't matter. It's like you're a teenager, you're going against him, you're going against grown men. Like, same
Yeah.
thing with me. I'm like 150 pounds at the time. I'm like,
Yeah,
right,
you were
I'll
on
go.
the smaller end of
Yeah.
the guys sparring with
Yeah.
all the big guys,
But
and Anton and
Yeah. But if you're tall, they think you're bigger than you are. So it's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
It
like
makes it
you,
tough.
it really always impressed me that you were able to make 145 pounds. Because when we stand next to each other, we look the same size.
Yeah, not far off.
Yeah.
You're 6 foot?
Yeah.
And you fought 145.
Yeah, man. And I'm looking forward now that I'm retired, not having to make that weight cut anymore.
What was your weight cut? What do you walk at versus what you cut to?
So I'm about like 165 to 170, just normal, and then in shape like low 60s, and then high 50s as it comes down to like closer and closer to the weight. Excuse me. So like fight week, I'll try to be like 59 that Monday. Drink some water.
Yeah, take a sip of water, man.
Are you nervous, Bill?
No, I'm coming off of one of my kids' colds. One kid gets it, and then the other kid gets it. and
We
just
didn't even
stays in
get to the
house.
heartfelt stuff yet. You can't be crying.
I got plenty of tears. All right.
So you get down 59 and you roughly
Yeah.
have like 17, 18 that
Something
week.
like that, yeah. And then
Okay.
fight day or whatever, I get up to like 64, and then like by the time I fight like
So
62.
you're right back.
Yeah,
You're right
there.
back. Yeah. I probably have what do we do? We do like 20 the week of.
20.
So it sucks.
You got a little bit more muscle than me, slightly. So
Well,
you cut a little
typically
bit more.
walking at 215, 217,
Yeah.
and then coming all the way down. It's definitely brutal. So I look forward to the day that I either move up
Yeah, I know.
or I make enough money and do my thing that I don't have to. Hopefully they come out with a 195 class. That would be great for me.
But then you'll fill that up too. You'll be like,
Yeah.
I got to go up to 205.
Yeah. Well,
Billy, following your career, like I would say, out of most of the fighters I've ever seen, you definitely had the hardest road to get into the UFC. Yeah. Could you walk us through, like, I mean, you fought at Ring of Combat, you won the Ring of Combat title, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Scott
then
Heckman head kick.
Yeah, I think I defended it a couple times there, but that was one of the title defenses, yeah.
you got on the Contender Series. You really had I was there in Vegas. You had a hell of a fight. You didn't get in, and then you finally get into the UFC. Could you like walk us through that?
Yeah, so really the first time I met Dana was the Jared Gordon fight for CFFC. We were fighting for the title. Excuse me. I had the title. I beat Jeff Lentz. Jeff Lentz had beaten Jared Gordon, so it was like a nice little round robin tournament, if you will. And excuse me. I went there and like sold a bunch of tickets. First time fighting in front of Dana. I'm like, this is my shot, you know. Fell short. That's why I got this nice. I don't know if the cameras can zoom in on my nice scar right here.
Can see that.
But that was from Jared Gordon. That was that fight, and yeah, I got my ass whooped, man.
He's fighting tonight too.
He's supposed to. I think the guy didn't make weight.
Ah. well,
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah. He would have destroyed that guy too. It was just some no name. But yeah, lost to him. It sucked. I'm all like emotional. Just lost in front of Dana White, in front of 100 people that you sold tickets to. It's your dream. It all kind of came crashing down. And then like afterwards, I met Dana White. He told me like, hey, just win like 4 or 5 fights. You'll be right back here. And that's what I did. I went to Ring of Combat.
Yeah, win 4 or 5, but not 1 or 2. Win 4 or 5.
And he's right. But it's
And you were already pretty far into your career at that point, too.
I think it
You
was
had fought a lot.
8-2 or 8-3 or something after that fight. Yeah, so I was like, fuck, now I got all this work to do. I'm 30. Like, what do I do? Like, I thought about quitting right then and there, like just retiring. But then it's like, you go back to the gym Monday. It's like, what else am I going to do? Like, I love this shit. So from there, yeah, just ran out like 4 or 5 dubs and made sure they were like, excuse me, highlight level dubs, and they were. And it was a nice high kick and some other things I did. And then that's when I got into the Contender Series. And then
Who did you fight in the Contender? Because I don't remember ever seeing that.
Brendan Luckney, he won the $1 million for PFL.
Oh, he's the
He's the British guy.
Yeah.
And it was an awesome fight. It was a very back and forth fight that you
Sorry,
had
he
with
didn't
him.
get signed either that night.
No, it was very like controversial because he went for a takedown in the last like 5 seconds against me. But it was like, man, it was a good like war up until then. I made him piss blood. He had my leg looking like a Christmas ham. It was all purple like the next day. Like it was a war. And yeah, Dana just wasn't happy with it for whatever reason, so he went and signed with PFL, had a nice big signing bonus, won the $1 million tournament, and then just came up shy his second attempt last season. So still got paid. And now they went from $1 million to $500K.
Yeah, it's kind of. I think it's going to hurt them even more because that was kind of their staple. They still have relevancy, I think, because it's such a rewarding tournament to win.
No, everyone wants that.
Everybody wants a
$1
mill.
million,
Yeah,
of
I
course.
mean,
Yeah.
you got UFC champions that are making 500. So
I know,
now it's kind of like the same
Lance
team.
Palmer won that thing twice. So he won it $2 million, and then now he's getting whooped up in like Russia and like just different promotions wherever he can go.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
UFC's still the best as far as exposure, as far as like
Biggest platform.
professionalism, biggest platform, yeah, and it's what you do with that platform that matters,
Yeah, of course. So you obviously you fight him, you come up short. How many fights did you in between that until you got the call?
So after that, it was I think just one because then the pandemic happened, and then UFC, I give them all the credit in the world. They were the first to open their open sports back up again, to make life happen again. So they figured it out. They tested everybody, put them in the bubble, and then the NBA started following suit and stole that idea off of them too. But then local promotions like CFFC called me up and said, hey, like, we got this fight, this and that. It's nobody in the audience, but whatever. It's like, I get back in the winning column, then I'm that much more attractive to whoever. So, and it was a fight, an opponent I already beat. So I was pretty confident I was going to win again, which I did. And then, like, I think the next week or like 2 weeks after that, that's when I got in the UFC. I was still celebrating the win. I was in my garage, drinking, smoking, ordering DoorDash, just fully just getting fat and living the life. And then I got a call like, yo, Ricardo Lamas, 6 days. I'm like,
Yeah, that's right. That was your first fight in the UFC, yeah.
yeah, no, it was supposed to be
6 days was the notice?
Yeah.
Now you lost that split, but I feel like it was a controversial.
Yeah,
and
it was.
I think I remember seeing it. That wasn't in Abu Dhabi, was it? No.
No.
It was that Apex?
Apex, yeah.
I do remember watching that, and I do remember feeling that you had won the fight.
Yeah, I went, like, in the fight, I was like, I don't know, I think he got it. Afterwards, when I watched it, I was like, no, I definitely had that first round, and the second round was me with that knee where I made him turn, and third round was just like him wrestling me, but whatever.
Very entertaining. So post that, you've been a very entertaining UFC.
Yeah, we got the bonus that night for that fight.
Yeah?
That was good. And
I
it was
wasn't
just
there.
like, all right, let's try to keep chasing bonuses.
Because I wasn't there. No, no, so you've had obviously
or RoboCop.
Yeah.
That guy's a bonus machine too.
Yeah, he's always having those come from behind wins.
I know.
Gets hurt and then
he's
comes
a tough
back.
dude, man.
Yeah,
He
very
gets hit
tough.
because he's just a big dude with a big old head, but like he can eat it.
He's very physical, very physical. I think that'll be a fun one day if we ever line up. I would enjoy that one. But yeah, so your career, you've had I think it's been an amazing career. I've always been entertained every time I watch it.
Thank you,
and
brother.
even aside from that, it's
The feeling
knowing
is mutual.
you. Thank you. Well, knowing you and being able to see it, and then obviously you go out there and it's always entertaining. Win, lose, or draw, it's always been entertaining, and I think that's what people care about. And I think you're a big fan favorite, so it's.
That's what you're paid to do, right? You're paid to be an entertainer. You're paid to be something, either the heel or a favorite or what, but you got to get people talking about you. Like, everyone's tough. Everyone can fight. You're in the UFC. What else you got?
So you're in the UFC, and now, as of a couple days ago, you have announced retirement from the sport.
Yeah.
Where did that thought first start, and how long has it been you contemplating before you pulled the trigger on it?
Like I said, I thought about just giving up the game when Jared Gordon just whooped my ass in front of Dana, and then got in the UFC after that, and we're doing well, had some nice victories, and certain fights I had to fight for my job, and I did, and then other ones, I'm like, all right, let's just get some bonuses, get some money here, but this entire time I've had the gym going on and operating, and now I've got a family. I got 2 kids, so it's like I was talking to one of your coaches, Jonathan Webb, when we were working with Andre. Man, it's just like it's so hard to be 100% in with the gym, with the kids, with the family, with fighting. Like something's got to give, and it's not going to be my business, which was making money before I was in the UFC. I had the gym before the UFC, and it's certainly not going to be the family. So it's like, all right, this is it now.
This is the third string.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, I understand what fighting is. It's exchanging body parts for money, but I'm just I'm not into it anymore. I've got a certain amount of investments and this and that where I'm trying to just prolong that as long as possible and add to that and just figure out how I can navigate these waters, because at some point it needs to end, and I'd much rather it be on my terms than the UFC's terms, or an injury like Dominic Cruz just blew out his shoulder training for his last fight, but now he's not fighting, not getting paid, and now you have a terrible shoulder that you're going to deal with for the rest of your life.
TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah, can't raise his arm higher than this. So
yeah, it's an
brutal game,
unforgiving sport for sure. A part of you is completely done with the competitive side because you're still relatively young.
Yeah, 35.
35.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know.
How does that work? Have you had a conversation with the UFC at all? Has anybody called you about it?
No,
Are you
not
now
really.
Obviously out of the testing pool.
Yeah. They asked me if I want to be out of the testing pool, because it's if you want to, just so you know, if you want to get back in, because I still have 2 fights left on my contract, but they offered me somebody or whatever, and I was like, I'd already been thinking this since my last fight, which was a loss. I got my orbital broken, sucked, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm good, right? And then I was kind of waiting until I know they're going to text me. It takes a couple months. I know they're going to text me after the new year, after the holidays are done, at some point for a fight, which they did. But that gave me enough leeway to be like, all right, if I want to get back in there, I'm training this whole time. If I have that itch, I can still yeah, let's do this. But it never came. I'm content. I've got 10 fights in the UFC. Most people who we even know who are dire fans of ours, oh wow, you have 10 fights? They don't even know. It's not important. Whether you have 10, whether you have 20, you did it. You made some money. Now it's time to kind of just move on and do other things.
So,
yeah.
So I'd like to read this out loud because you did a post retiring. This is from DC Fights. He said on Billy's post, he commented this: retired with some of the best striking stats in UFC featherweight history. Currently ranked number 6 featherweight with 5.88 strikes landed per minute, all being significant. Ranked somewhere between 10 to 15 featherweight with 51.6% significant strikes landed. I mean, Bill, these are incredible stats that you
put
got
up numbers,
to do.
baby. I got that accounting degree. We're here to put up numbers.
Billy's the numbers guy, man.
Just like Ben Affleck, the accountant.
And watching your fights, man, what I always liked about you was you do stuff where it's so hard to find somebody
Who can mimic that?
Yeah, if I was fighting Billy, it's dude, who do I get to spar that does the stuff that you'll stand completely sideways? You were good at the calf kicks too, which I'm glad I got out of fighting before those things actually became something, because he does it to me all the time.
Feel for a couple days afterwards.
Yeah.
But now
Flex your toes.
Yeah, and everyone's doing them every gym, but now I'm starting to see more and more fights. Guys are starting to get good at checking them. Starting to see people break their
man.
shin trying to calf kick people. So that's going to be the next wave, is defending the calf kick, breaking their shit. It's hard to take somebody down off of it, but scoring off of that.
And dude, you could take a punch too, man. And you've always been. And so I was a 170 pounder, and me and Billy would be at the gym, and I'd see him sparring 205 pounders, and I'd be like, shit, dude,
Timmy Carpenter, Timmy Williams, Anton.
Yeah, it's dude, I think I'm too small to spar some of these guys, and Billy's over there sparring them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, gets you good head movement, that's for sure. Because I don't want to get hit by anything they do. So you got to keep them eyes strong.
Little side question. Any interest in BKFC?
No. Not at all.
I had to ask.
I understand that's the retirement for some, and I get it. But that's if I didn't have a gym that's and investments and this and that going on, like I'd still be in the UFC, and then like all right, that would be my probably exit strategy is get one or two of those and sell off. But nah, I'm good. Funny enough, the guy you were just reading that stats, that's still like he went for the tryouts for bare knuckle fight, and we know Feldman. I've seen him on your podcast as well. I think it's a great sport. It's growing and growing every single month. Like they're
well, you had a few guys fighting it.
Yeah, we had Cody Russell, Zed, a couple other guys too. And man, I watched that with just like, I think that was like, what was that, a month ago? It was like kind of during the holidays, but I had like my brother over, like we would just watch that, just normal people, but they understand like, oh wow, this is violent, and oh wow, this is entertaining. Like it kept us glued for the entire time. So they're doing something right over there. So
yeah, I mean,
shout out to the Feldman brothers.
Yeah, haven't been there and seen it. It's very entertaining, very fun.
Yeah, and they give
you got some knuckleheads in the press conferences, like answering questions. And shit.
They make it entertaining. And the other thing they do
very upset.
Is they give people the opportunity who
fuck that guy.
who want to get into the UFC to fight on a bigger stage, which is nice too. It is.
Yeah. No, it's great. I mean, it's like win lose. Like you're going to break your hands. You're going to get cut up, so you better get paid for it. And then take off probably for 6 months. But yeah, no, it's up there. I like it a whole lot more than power slap or whatever the fuck else.
Yeah, power slap I can't get behind. There's nothing intriguing to me about people standing there and slapping each other.
I'm never allowing someone to hit me without me defending or getting out of the way of it.
And you see how much they're getting paid. It's like, oh man, like you're just.
I haven't seen that part, but.
Like the brand new entry level guys, like 2 and 2, $2,000, just to get knocked the fuck out. Like, ugh.
Yeah, you're not slapping.
I'm good. The champ, if you want to go to the highest level, I think Dana White just said it was like $20,000 and like 3 goats, because that's what the guy wanted. So he got his 3 goats and he got the $20,000.
There better be some expensive ass goats.
But how many headaches and how many concussions are you getting leading up into that?
It's got to be a lot of
leading up to those 3 goats
too.
Yeah, no, you could really just not hear forever, like fuck up your equilibrium forever. Like, I'm good. Yeah. Not that it's not a chance when we do it, but there's a whole lot more skill and
Yeah, you can defend to a shot. Yeah.
Yeah, I have the opportunity to defend somebody's attack.
Yeah,
so.
see it coming and move.
So obviously you got the gym now. You're not interested in fighting ever again.
Again, I had the gym before I was in the UFC.
You've had the gym for what, 6-7 years?
About 7, 8, yeah, something like that.
So
2017 we opened up.
And you're out of King of Prussia?
Yep, yeah, right next to the mall.
King of Prussia. So the other thing, since we brought it up, was I out of line to go at Jeremy Stevens at the press conference?
No, not at all. That guy's a fucking douchebag. Yeah, we're allowed to curse on here, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Wow.
Tell me, did you happen to see his post-fight interview?
No, did he say something about you?
Yeah, he said, "Fuck Joe Pyfer. We'll see where he's at in 10 years." You're like, but the first thing he says, is that you're not supposed to get upset in this game, and then he proceeds to be very upset about what I said, which, I got fried online for, which I thought was hilarious. Yeah, but it's like, guys, he called us all retards.
Yeah.
That's enough for me to want. And it was a funny thing. We said, "Yeah, you won't go up talk shit." I was like, "I'll go do it." I was being a fan, having fun.
One of the first times I went out to train at Alliance, where he trains at, and remember Wilson Hayes?
Yeah, I love Wilson.
Wilson's the man. He's like, "Yeah, come out for a week, train with me, bro." Like this and that. I'm like, "All right, cool. Like, let's do it." So went to San Diego, and I'm like, "All right, where do all the fighters stay?" Like, "Oh, they stay in the gym." I'm like, "All right, cool." Meanwhile, it's all like the amateur fighters stay in the gym. It's not the professional fighters. And we're talking like just straight up plywood. Like there's a sofa with like still the plastic on it.
Definitely violating zoning laws.
Yeah, 6 dudes in one room, bunk beds. Like I was like, this is different. Whatever. So I had a fun time training there all week. And then like we were at like some bar or something like with some of the guys from the gym. And Jeremy Stevens was just being a dickhead to me because I'm around his size or whatever. And he's like, "Hey, my buddy's introducing me to him. He's like, "Hey, this is Billy. He's a pro. He's actually your weight." And he's like, "Who?" And I'm like standing right there. He's like, "No, he's Bill." Who? Like doing this shit, just trying to like big league.
Just trying to punk you.
Yeah. I'm like, this motherfucker. It's around all his people, all his friends. I'm by myself. I'm like, man, fuck this piece of shit. Yeah. And then like he's out there. He had like a wife and kids at home, but he's doing dumb shit at the bar. I was just like, man, this guy's a fucking
I heard
piece
my
of
man's
shit.
had a problem with the bottle, but I
Yeah.
didn't really give a fuck. I thought it was funny. Everybody seemed to miss the joke of me going to Turkey and then making fun of somebody else's hairline. I thought that was a fucking mic drop, man, But It was good. And, obviously knowing Eddie for a long time, and then I saw him right in the back after, and he didn't say anything.
Yeah. No, of course he's not going to say shit to you. Yeah.
He had a lot to say on the microphone, but then I was right there looking at him. He wasn't looking at me.
No one's getting paid for that. So he wants the eyeballs, he wants the clicks, he wants the comments. Yeah. It's all about the engagement.
Well, I DM'd him to his response, and I was like, hey, instead of us comparing, where I'm at in 10 fights, I said, why don't we compare whether or not I have a winning record in the UFC? Unlike yourself, it's 15 and 18, brother.
Is that what he was?
15 and 18. So, and when people asked me about this fight with Eddie, I said, honestly, I was like, it's a tough fight for Eddie. The dude can bang. He's tough,
I knew that, yeah.
Never took anything away from his skill or his durability.
I don't know what the odds were, but I thought Jeremy would probably be a slight favorite in that fight, unfortunately.
He's a little younger, and he definitely is still in it. Where Eddie
and he needs to win, whereas Eddie doesn't need to. Jeremy does. He has to win.
I never disrespected him as far as the competitor level, but his hair did look like shit.
Fuck that guy. But it was weird. Like you heard what he said about like his parents not even congratulating him after he got knocked out. Like no one calls him, no one texting him. Like he was talking about like losing, or he's like, when I got knocked out, like my mom and dad wouldn't even call me. So I get it. Like we're all fighters. We all come from like a fucked up situation. But either way, still fucked.
Well, Jeremy, you might never see this, but I hope you're okay.
He's watching.
Fuck yourself. So all right, so we'll close it up. We'll wrap it up. What does Bill Algeo do in his off time, away from the family, if that's possible, or away from the gym, if that's possible? Are you into dirt biking? Are you into
golfing, shooting?
Golfing, shooting?
Yeah, just normal shit.
I'm shooting golf balls.
Shooting golf balls. Yeah.
You're a golfer?
Yeah, bro. I was on the Harris team.
Explain this to me. I can't
Wrestling's
get
in the winter, right? And then springtime comes around, you got to do something. And it was golf for me. I was golfing since I was 12. I was caddying since I was like.
Oh, so you're like a legitimate golfer.
I was. It was decent, but not like legitimate. But now I'm just a fucking hacker. Just go out and just have fun, drink, smoke. Occasionally we golf.
Are you smoking cigarettes?
No. I don't stick. I'm not a Zinner. I'm not a nicotine guy.
Nah?
Not yet. I hear good things, though.
If you start playing Call of Duty, you'll start popping Zens.
I was before the kids.
Are you a Call of Duty guy?
Yeah, I was.
You're done.
I just have no time. I can't stay up. Like I go to bed at 10.
Yeah.
It's like I would play from 10 to 2 or 3 back before kids. Now
it is a sick addiction.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
But Billy, you are a really good jiu-jitsu guy. You're a phenomenal grappler. Like, what about competing in grappling? Is that something where you probably will? Yeah.
Maybe. Like. Depends. I did one for CFFC, and
you got heel hooked, right?
Yeah, like right away, or like straight foot locked. Like the kid's good. Like he came out and he like fucking clubbed me right away. I was like, I honestly thought
I was
one
there.
Second. I was like, I might fucking need this motherfucker. Like it ran through my head. Like I'm on the same
Which
stage
kid
I
was.
was. Andrew Kokol.
Yeah.
He's good. Good grappler.
Yeah, he is.
But I'm like, man, this is the same stage I used to fight in front of how many people in front of that cage. I'm like, this is the same people, same production crew. Like it just ran through my mind, like I might knee him in the face. Like if he does that again, like I'm whatever. And then he ended up like clubbing, pulling guard, and footlocking me right away. I was like, all right, tap, thanks, man. Whatever, kind of gay.
Piece of crap.
Yeah, that's jiu-jitsu for you.
Yeah, I've had to learn even myself because there's a kid Steve Joachim on my team who's like excellent at. Like the 50-50, the false reaps, and the saddle and all that crap.
50-50 is where it's at.
He's in the inverted shit too.
Yeah.
So if you ever try to pass, he like pulls his leg up and he shoots through your legs and rolls under and goes, all right. Whole lot of shit that I'm not doing. My back would snap. But
just clear that knee line, you're good.
Yeah, I've been getting really good control of the ankles and
because look at the highest level, like Ryan Hall, Gary Tunnan, amazing jiu-jitsu, amazing leg lockers. They both get knocked the fuck out, like going for leg locks against like guys who can manage a little bit, but then strike.
Yeah, Ryan Hall.
Yeah, Ryan Hall against Topuria, yeah.
Topuria. Yeah, back then we didn't know how good Topuria was, though.
Yeah.
Kron Gracie.
Fuck, I wanted that fight. That would be a fight I can get out of retirement for. Give me that Kron fight.
Did he get let go? Do you know?
I don't know. He should, but he probably not just because he's such a name.
Why don't you request that before you
I have multiple times.
No?
Yeah,
They won't give it to you?
I don't have the star power, I guess. Or they just don't want me to fuck up Kron Gracie. But, that'd be so easy. I love jiu-jitsu guys.
What's your take on Bryce Mitchell's future?
With the UFC or with podcasting?
Both. Start with podcasting.
Podcasting, we'll see. You saw he was on the Jackson podcast, whatever. They flew him out there just to kind of like silence him. So I'm like, that's kind of corny. But I get it. You can't say crazy shit on podcasts. You leave that for after the podcast. Maybe not what he was saying. But no, he's cool. The guy he said that to, he's actually from Delco. The other one that was in that podcast. He's
Really?
like a southern-looking guy. Yeah, because when I fought T.J. Brown, he was his coach. He was cornering him. So way back, like, we were just on the same fight card. You know, you come back from the PI, you're on the van with somebody, a bus with somebody, you start talking. Like, he's like, oh, man, I'm from Delco originally. I'm from Ridley. I'm like, what? You're from Ridley? He stayed there, I guess, for like a couple of years, but couldn't be any more like, southern boy. And I'm like, you're from Ridley? He's like, yeah, you Delco boys are tough. And I'm like, shit, yeah, you're right. And then I ended up fighting TJ, and I made like a post. It was like, oh, we're going to have this fight at Nifty 50s. We don't need to do it in Kansas City.
Nifty 50s, bro. I remember the first time I had Nifty 50s. Never heard of that fucking place ever.
Oh, it's like crack.
And it was like, oh, man, yeah. I was like,
The
dude,
Oreo milkshake. Or the root beer milkshake.
I'm a big mint chocolate chip guy.
That's right there. I always go to Charlie's instead.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm a Zach's guy.
Zach's
Is
guy.
Charlie's
I
like the same
I am
thing?
now. Charlie, yeah. I don't know if it's still the same. Or
They moved down. They're on McDade.
Yeah.
But they left their original location. It's
And now
Delco Steaks now.
owns it now.
Yeah.
But it's the same type of food.
Yeah.
Delco
But you
Steaks
figure
is
the
bomb, too.
grill which they've been cooking on for so long was probably part of the reason why the burger. Charlie's burgers are really good,
Yeah,
but
they were.
I love Zach's.
I do too now.
They
Yeah.
got French fries and
I know,
they're
yeah.
nicer to you.
I didn't know there was more than one location. I go to that one in Aston all the time. But then I DoorDash, it's like somewhere in Ridley.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, Zach's is where it's at too. And they still have the same prices from like.
Dude, it's
Don't tell them this, but it's like still like 1995 prices.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They haven't changed the menu at all.
So I have one more question just regarding your fight career. Was it ever hard? Like, who were your main training partners while you were in camp? Like, you go into a camp, because I honestly don't know. I always saw Dill around there.
Yeah. Dill
so I
was,
assume he was
like
one.
kind of post-COVID, but sure, he's like day one. And same thing, Malik. Who we
I
both
love
know.
Malik.
Malik's the man.
Kamara?
Yeah, Malik Kamara.
Yeah.
He owns Delco MMA.
Okay.
in
Oh, he
Springfield.
does own it. Okay,
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
that was
all
where
of
my
it. But
first
he's,
job
he's
was.
one of the owners of Delco MMA.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was Timothy's.
The UFC one?
No, that where Delco MMA is, it was Timothy's.
Oh, it was like a bar or something?
It was like a bar restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah, it was my first job ever. I was 12 or 13 years old when I first
wow.
started working there. Yeah.
Shit.
I used to ride my bike there.
Yeah, it's still kind of sketchy right around there. Like, he'll have dudes like like trying to get in the gym, and there's somebody like sleeping on his entrance. And he's like, what the fuck? That's why
Yeah, it's changing.
he's gotten into shooting himself. Like, it's probably a good habit to have around.
Oh,
there.
he's gotten into
gotten into
shooting.
not gotten
I thought
into
you got
shootings,
into a
not
shooting. I was like,
shootings,
oh shit.
but into guns and shooting and stuff too.
No,
That's
you
been a fun
should.
challenge.
You should. Let's. Hopefully, the country's going in the right direction. It seems on the up and up. I'm happy, but I hope that he winds up passing a law where obviously you have your concealed carry, but it'll apply across all the states.
As it should.
hope
Yeah,
that
I got my
that's-
here, but it's about to expire. But I just wanted to same thing, just be nationwide.
Do you think
my boy
that's gonna
Thomas
happen?
Massey's trying to get that going through. I hope so. I mean,
I haven't heard
he's,
anything
he's
about
making
it
so
yet.
many moves in the first 3 weeks. It's like, what else? What can't he do?
Yeah, and it's frustrating because it's not people that legally own guns that are the problem. Of
course not.
Yeah, and when you police them to where you can't carry a gun to protect yourself or your family, to me it just doesn't make it. It's the criminals. Like, how are you going to get criminals to follow laws? And it's like by punishing people who do.
I guess people miss the concept too of criminals that have guns for the innocent that don't are obviously going to win.
You don't want them to have higher power than the innocent civilians. You want it to be a mutual fight, or if anything, the civilians to have more firepower. I just got my first silencer. It's pretty sweet.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you got the
yeah.
ATF tax stamp and everything.
Yeah. It used to take like 6 to 8 months. Now it takes 6 to 8 days. So everyone's like getting a ton of silencers.
Is that a
this year.
pain in the butt? I know they keep telling me I got to fill out like paperwork and then go.
No.
$200.
$200. Yeah, you get like thumb printed, actually like everything printed, and they take a picture of you, and then you're allowed to like go to the store that day, fill it out, and I'm pretty sure like I was able to shoot the silencer there. I just couldn't leave with it until I got approved. So you can buy the tax stamp, go shoot, go have fun, and then come back and get it in like a week.
I got a silencer question for you. Did you get one? Did you get one you can put on a handgun and your rifle?
No, just this one was just made for that rifle. I
You
mean,
got it
I'm
for
sure
free.
it's I'm sure I could put it on other ones, but I made it like the same company. It's called
Yeah.
Q. It's actually my first nickname in fighting, the Honey Badger. That's what the gun's called, the Honey Badger. It's made by Q. It's really nice.
What does it shoot? 223?
It's actually 300 blackout, and I go subsonic rounds, so it's
Yeah.
like whisper quiet.
It's like a
Especially
slow-moving
with the
bus.
Yeah.
Ping, ping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you go
sweet.
shoot?
Outdoors the best. Like I got a couple
Yeah.
buddies, like Joey Milano's got 20 acres. My buddy Josh, we went shooting outdoors at his place a couple times. Mostly just been indoors lately, just to kind of like just keep it fresh and just keep going.
I have a bunch of guns and I never go shoot. it's really bad. I got a bunch and I don't go shoot.
Joey's like a Mexican cartel, like armory he has at his house.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you don't need a 50 caliber handgun, dude. Like,
But it also helps I have a gun sponsor, so
Yeah.
it's just like it's
But
more of
yeah,
a collector's thing. But
It's worth it. Go shoot. I have one gun. I got a gold AK-47 that I'm never going to shoot. Same thing. Talking about Mexican cartels. That's like their go-to. But that's like artwork. It's like 24 karat gold plated too.
have you ever been to Mexico?
No, I haven't.
I'm like freaked out, man.
With what?
Going to Mexico is where my fight's at.
Oh, Mexico City?
Yeah.
Oh, man, get that. Oh, that's why you're sleeping in that tent.
Yes.
Oh, smart.
Yes, get ready for elevation. Right now I'm sleeping at 4,000 feet. I'm on an intense running program. I'm on an intense training program. So yeah, I'm trying to do,
What about Mexico makes you nervous?
the cartel.
The cartel? Yeah.
So
You're what we call a high-value target.
me?
Yeah. You're famous.
Yeah, they would like to kill
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna fucking. Yeah, it's great. Thanks.
Yeah.
No. So
Like,
I was just
how much
reading.
how much dinero they don't wait for this
Yeah.
white boy?
Well, so I heard a story, and I don't know how true it is, about Josh Emmett, and he was out there. I believe he was out in Mexico. I think it's the same thing, and I guess they kidnapped him or something. And then
word.
his one phone call was to Hunter Campbell, and Hunter Campbell got him out of it.
Jesus.
I'm gonna talk to my manager to figure out if that shit's
that's
true.
true.
Because
Yeah,
I'm really
that's a
fucking
wild
freaked
story.
out about it. But
I feel like that would have been more like publicized if that was true.
I feel like it would be
never
too.
heard it.
I don't know why somebody would make that up.
Remember that
So-
happened to Vitor Belfort? Remember that happened to his sister?
his sister got kidnapped. Yeah.
I think
Out
I don't
of
know,
Mexico?
like when he was like early in the UFC, I believe.
She
Like
got
in,
killed,
in
though.
Brazil, I want to say.
But he comes from a very powerful family in Brazil too.
Yeah, they're like politicians or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I was reading about, obviously I'm getting myself adjusted to sleep.
Yeah. What's the time difference? It's like 2 hours.
1
behind?
hour.
Oh, okay.
1
Not too
hour.
bad.
But it's like 7,500 feet or 7,000 feet,
Oh, okay.
whatever it is. Higher in Colorado.
You get to set it yourself to the elevation.
so I can set it on my
Oh,
machine.
wow. What's
yeah.
the highest it goes to?
I think 9,700 feet.
Okay. What's it feel like when you're sleeping in there? Is it hard to breathe?
If you're a little claustrophobic like me, it's definitely you start thinking there's less air.
Gotcha.
But
you can take a full breath. It's
Yeah,
not a big
you
deal.
take a full breath. Like once I'm asleep, like when I wake up, I'm breathing fine and everything.
Okay.
But it does. If you're not ready to like fall asleep the second you get in there, like
Yeah.
within 30 minutes, it's gonna be hard.
Do you notice a difference yet?
I don't know. I don't think
How long?
so.
How long you been doing it?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
2.5 weeks. So I wouldn't say I feel a difference yet because I'm at the mild stage. I was at 2,000 feet for a week,
Okay.
3,000 feet for a week, and
Slowly
now I'm at
building up.
4,000 for like
Gotcha.
3 days. But I wanna keep increasing it.
And
as
what's
much as-
Mexico City? 7,500.
75, 72, something like that.
Yeah, 75.
All right.
But I was reading, the reason I asked is because I was reading that you want to go up to a higher elevation. They have some hikes out there that'll put
Yeah.
you at like 12 to 14,000
Oh, okay.
feet
So
of
then it feels like
elevation.
nothing when you come
So
back
you
down.
go up there, yeah, it'll make it a lot easier. But I'm like, bro, I'm not fucking hiking anywhere if I'm gonna,
Yeah.
if it's sketchy, which it is. I don't want to fucking.
Yeah.
I wish I was
I've been
fighting
doing-
Miami.
I've been
wouldn't
doing my
isolate
research.
yourself.
Mexico City is like, dude, it's like one of the best places to live in the world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're gonna be good.
I don't know.
I'm thrilled.
He's going
just
on.
travel in packs. You'll be all right.
He's going on resorts.com.
I got my Duolingo app. I'm ready. I'm ready to ask for a table for 2 people. Like,
Hopefully,
I'm ready to go.
hey,
to
listen, hopefully
Mexico.
they leave us alone. They got or pizza, so that's was that Rican?
No, that's my great grandfather was from Aguas Calientes, Mexico.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay. That's what Orpez is?
Yeah, so we did the ancestry, and then we found all my Mexican cousins, and then they saw I was a Trump supporter, so they all unfriended me.
Oh,
Damn, you're pissing everyone off.
Oh, well.
You know?
That's
Okay.
great. Well, we appreciate having you on here. I wanted to have you on here, obviously, because I've known you for quite some time. I know we're not like butt buddies every day, but I've always respected
Not
you.
yet, bro.
Not
Give it
yet.
time.
I've always respected you and respect your career, and it makes me sad because I would like to see you fight again for my own selfish
I
entertainment.
appreciate it.
But
It ends for everybody at some point. It's
Yeah.
better to be on your terms. I was telling Malik, man, this game's a bitch, but I'm a pimp.
Well, we appreciate you. You're episode 7. And Sam, you got anything else?
No, Billy, thank you, man. You're the man, Billy.
All right, guys, thank you. Appreciate you.